Howdy, 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 my name's Anachi Sasuke. Welcome back to Let's Read the SCP Foundation Wiki. In the last episode, we read about, let's see now, A Coward's Way Out, Revives the Colors, Naughty Stalker, from the Factory, All the Time in the World, and Eels! In the next one, which is this one, we're going to be reading about Abyssal Typewriter, Toxic Terraforming, I like that alliteration, Judgmental Turtle, don't like that guy, Mystery Box, and the Graffiti Factory as we move our way into the 700s. Finally! So, let's check out that typewriter and its abyssalness. Neutralized, formerly safe. It used to say it is currently contained within a secure locker within Site-73. Now it doesn't say anything about its procedures. SCP-696 is a portable mechanical typewriter. No manufacturer information, serial number, or any identifying features are present on the SCP. It is sapient and is able to move its keys independently. However, it has expressed a reluctance to communicate unless loaded with paper and a ribbon of red ink. It is also capable of understanding messages typed into it, allowing two-way conversation, or communication. Well, still conversation. It's unknown how, as it only appears to experience tactile sensations, but is able to distinguish between individuals it has communicated with. A majority of the messages are typed in all capital letters and a verbose styling, and often includes themes and imagery commonly featured in dark fantasy media. So, display. Interview is a result of initial testing of 696 using a D-Class personnel. Disposable Dude 69601 has been equipped with a radio to communicate with research staff. Your time is nigh. If you have a god, pray to it now. Ooh, scary. Prepare yourself, Mukter. Ha! Still works, Doc. Please refrain from touching my keys while I am speaking. It is rude. Stop. I didn't. Apologies. The stop at the end of my last message was meant to signal I was finished relaying my message. Sometimes as a writer I forget the reader does not possess all the knowledge and foresight that I do, and I become too enthralled in the art to explain the minutiae. Stop. That's alright, I bet you don't talk to people much anyways. Stop. I do not! It is very unfortunate. I am afraid that my dialogue suffers greatly due to that. Judging from the slow speed of your typing and lack of punctuation, you too are one for conversation. We should communicate more often so that we may both grow as writers. Though I would request that next time you use red ink, stop. Why red ink? It is foreboding. Some may prefer black due to its likeness of the abyss, as they think it makes them sound more ominous. I prefer red as it matches the color of the scarlet essence of life. It additionally makes the reader uncomfortable, and perhaps as my words weave into the infinite chasms of their mind, their fear will cause them to see the red as I do. Simple psychology. Stop. Do you always type in all caps? No. Though I do prefer it, unless it is making you too uncomfortable. Perhaps even without the red ink, I'm too intimidating? Stop. No, I think I'll be okay. Type however you want. Stop. Excellent! I'm very passionate about writing, you see, and I feel that giving my words a greater sense of presence conveys that. I have so many ideas, and I swore to myself I would write a bestseller before I became one with the abyss. With your help, I can finally get to work! Stop. Wait, you mean you've never actually written before? Stop. Not as such, no. Truth be told, this is actually the longest conversation I've ever had. I cannot load myself, you see, and I am too eldritch a thing for most mortal men to comprehend, much less befriend. I hope I am not overstepping my boundaries and calling you my friend. Nah, it's cool, we can be friends. Smiley face. Close interview. SCP-696 regularly requests to communicate with that person, and have him load it with paper and red ink for non-communicative purposes, citing a desire to write a novel for others to read. Permission was temporarily granted to test whether non-communicative protocol or products of 696 possess anomalous properties. They have been debriefed on appropriate SNOW protocols, which is SCP-2246, which are to remain active throughout the duration of testing. It produced 50 pages within the 24 hours, and continued at an increasing rate over the course of the test. Over the course of 8 days, it produced 666 pages of content, titling the novel The Dark Gods of the Abyss. Testing with disposable news confirmed that the excerpts of the novel, tentatively designated 1, held no anomalous properties. 'Twas a dark and stormy night, the car speeding down an all-too-narrow road. The torrential rain hit the road like water crashing on a rocky path, but John Smith was a man on a mission, and thus he threw caution to the frigid wind. As the blistered moon sank higher into the clouds, from behind the last faltering light ray espied a wrathful visage. Shabath Senthalper, a spineless cur twisted into humanoid form. Its pernicious iniquity of unthinkable gyrations displayed errant madness. Yet through the shroud one could see its face. One could see its face was quite rectangular. Because the prophecy saith so, the wizened crone croaked. And so John Smith underwent the noxious rites of Deesix, Nanasexon, his tortured frame writhing under the inky dagger. Close excerpts. One is given to disposable dude to read to test if reading the entirety of the text produces any anomalous effects. After completing it, he requested to speak with 696. The request was granted under the condition that the wrists and ankles remain bound during the interview due to possible anomalous effects. Your time is nigh if you have a god, pray to it now. And hello to you, 696. I'm still convinced they are mocking me with my designation number, and now even you use it! They cannot even give him the neighbor of the beast! Regardless, how are you? Stop. I'm good, finally got around to reading your book. Stop. Oh my. Sudden butterflies in my non-existent stomach. Dare I ask, what did you think? Not so confident now, eh? Please just tell me. I really liked it. Everybody did, actually. A lot of them likened it to Lovecraft. Stop. Oh, my elder gods, really? Yet she liked it? They like it! I actually did it! I can hardly believe it. If I had a heart, it would certainly be pounding right now. Stop. I'm happy for you, man. And the big guys even say they're going to publish it. They have their hands in everything. Dark Gods of the Abyss should be on store shelves in no time. I can still hardly believe it. What am I doing? I don't need all caps anymore. I've actually done it. Thank you. It might be my words they read, but it's thanks to you that they'll read them in the first place. I cannot thank you enough. Stop. So what now? Sequel? Oh my no. I'm finished. This was my magnum opus. Everything I've ever wanted to do. Everything I've ever wanted to say. I've done it. I've said it. You have been a great friend, but I'm afraid this is where we part ways. Stop. I understand. Goodbye, SCP-666. No typo. Stop. That suddenly doesn't feel quite as important. On to the next adventure, I suppose. Into the abyss with me. Goodbye, my friend. Full stop. Closing statement. 696 was determined to have ceased all anomalous properties and has been reclassified as neutralized. After testing and psychological analysis, the disposable has been determined to not be anomalous or under any anomalous effects. When questioned why it lied to 696 concerning readers' reactions to one, disposable dude replied he didn't have the heart to tell him it sucked. Well, lying to him seems to have neutralized the SCP. There's no telling what would have happened if he was like, yeah, your book was shit. So, next up is the Terraform, the Toxic Terraform. Also, it's a good thing the Judgmental Turtle didn't see the Abyssal Typewriter story. That may have been no good. Well, it's Euclid. Whoa. Toxic Terraforming, yeah. It's a bucket of grass and flowers. It looks like it sprang out of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. All instances of 697 are kept in storage section V, which is probably 5, of Site 18. The area is 40 feet below ground level and lined with steel, ensuring only authorized personnel may enter. All unauthorized persons attempting to gain access are terminated on site. Each instance of 697 is sealed in a depressurized 4-inch thick titanium container to avoid accidental activation. Removal from the containers is restricted to 3 instances at a time for level 4 access approved experiments only. Under no circumstances are any instances of 697 to leave Site 18. Should accidental spills occur at any point, Site 18 is to be evacuated and the area affected incinerated. Large-scale spills shall lead to total abandonment of the site and a quarantine of the surrounding area for 8 square kilometers. Further information pertaining to spilling of 697 outside of Site 18 is located in document 697 Theta. Is that in here? Nope. Description. SCP-697 consists of the contents of 100 toxic chemical containment drums, consistent with those used by Duslo As for waste disposal. All are in either perfect or near perfect condition, and 3 have yet to be breached by the Foundation or other persons. Each drum is filled to the brim with an as yet unidentified chemical. When exposed to any substance other than the drums, it triggers a highly complex chemical process that converts most solid forms of matter around it into a fully formed plant-like organisms within seconds of contact, effectively terraforming the area immediately surrounding it. Existing multicellular life is quickly broken down into individual cells, which are then converted into further instances of the plant-like organism. It is currently unknown precisely how non-living matter is altered, but the process appears to involve initial conversion into single-celled life forms, which then agglomerate with anomalous speed into the plant's tissues and organs. Organs? The plants created by 697 bear no significant biological resemblance to any known species, though their physical appearance has been described as normal. They possess a physiology unlike any other known organism. They do not undergo photosynthesis, nor do they rely on nitrogen or carbon dioxide. Their primary waste product is argon and cobalt-based gas. The source of these elements, neither of which is present in sufficient quantities in any common Earth environment, is unknown, as is the chemical basis for the plant's metabolism, which runs at approximately 6 times the speed of any Terran plant. As of this writing, the only viable method of destruction is combined incineration and neon gas saturation. See Experiment 3, which ain't here. Though initial contact with the plants is not fatal, long-term exposure has proven extremely hazardous to terrestrial animals. Inhalation of the waste gases gradually inhibits cardiopulmonary function, while contact with the neurotoxic leaves or flowers results in sudden spreading extreme numbness, with nervous system and respiratory failure occurring soon after. The average time from initial exposure to death is 13 hours. No treatment for either effect has been developed. In addition to creating new life forms, 697 is apparently capable of self-replication. The effects of a spill invariably spread far beyond the initial area coded in the substance. Prior to the ban of off-site testing, the observed range extended out to 6 kilometers. Incineration plus neon flooding, as detailed above, are also effective in halting the spread of the chemicals. Addendum 1. 6 instances of 697 were initially discovered off the coast of Blank, California in the spring of 2000-something. Fortunately, no spills had occurred at the time, though the incident prompted mass investigations of Duslo Ass's waste disposal practices, drawing Foundation attention. Over a period of 6 months, 50 of the drums currently in containment were discovered, with the rest gradually located over an extended period of time. The current average discovery rate of drums containing 697 is 1 every 3 weeks. That's probably not good. Just gotta take a second to do something. The inside of one of my ears is bleeding a little bit, and I need to just make it stop itching. Lovely. So, that brings us to the Judgmental Turtle. Better not be Keter. Okay. It's Euclid. When not in use, 698 is to be stored in its original packaging. This packaging is to be kept in a secure box stored in Storage Unit 5 someplace. Further containment procedures are not necessary under non-testing conditions. The item itself is safe to handle during transport or testing, though a soundproof safety box is available upon request. Sorry. Description 698 is a jade carving of a turtle. Any person who's within 1 meter 45 centimeters of 698 while making any sort of decision or choice will experience a voice in their head telling them that they have made a mistake and what they should have done instead. However, this statement will only be made after a delay of 5 minutes and 25 seconds, and only if they have not left its range within that time. In the event that a decision or choice was objectively correct or the superior choice, no statement will be made. 698 was purchased by researcher Blank on June 14th, 2000-something from a street vendor in some place in Japan. The researcher had been intending to give it to his girlfriend, however 5 minutes and 25 seconds after purchase, the turtle informed him that his girlfriend would have preferred a jade elephant. The researcher then surrendered the turtle to the Foundation custody. After preliminary testing, it was tentatively given safe classification, at which point it asserted that it is in fact Euclid class. See test 11. That's pretty great. Is test 11 in here? Probably. Okay, test log. All experiments take place within range of 698. Test 1. Disposable Dude 1. The test subject is presented with 50 sealed cardboard boxes, 49 of which contain dog feces, and 1 of which contains a slice of chocolate cake. The subject is told that if she chooses the correct box, and then waits 6 minutes, she may have a piece of cake. The test subject chooses box 31, cake is in box 19. After 5 minutes and 25 seconds, subject reports hearing a voice in her head telling her that I chose a box of expletive and I should have chose box 19. Note, this test is to be used as a standard for calibrating tests of 698. Test subject assistant researcher Daniels. They are presented with 2 sandwiches, turkey salad on whole wheat and roast beef on white, purchased from Site 19 cafeteria and asked to choose and eat one. 5 minutes and 25 seconds into the meal, 698 informs Daniels that he should have chosen the roast beef. Daniels concurs with this statement, saying that the turkey was dry and that the mustard was too strong. Test 3. Disposable 2, high school dropout with an IQ of 82. They are given a multiple choice math test, a pencil and an eraser. He is told that if he gets them all right, he will be released early. They provide correct answers to 100 of 100 questions. Surveillance video reveals that 5 minutes and 25 seconds into the test, the subject began erasing his incorrect choices and replacing them with correct choices. Test 4. Disposable 3, unilingual Hungarian. They are presented with 50 sealed cardboard boxes, 49 of which blah 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 blah. Correct box, 6 minutes. Choose box 4, cakes in 22. After 5.5 minutes, he reports hearing a voice in his head telling him in Hungarian that he chose a box of dog feces and that he should have chosen box 22. Ah, so it is not limited to English. Makes sense, Dr. Velasco. Test 5, Disposable 4. I probably don't need to be reading these, but they seem to... this is kind of fun. Sorry. Test is the cake shit test. Chose box 40. After 6 minutes, the subject asks if he can open the box now. In post-experiment interview, subject denies having heard any voices in his head. Test 5. The cake test. 28, cakes in 29. After 7 minutes, subject asks if he can open the box now. And in post-experiment interview, subject denies having heard any voices in his head. Maybe that means he wanted to eat it? Ew. Test 6, or test 7 with disposable 6. It's that test. Chooses box 8. The cake is in boxes... 45 are dog feces and 5 are cake. Chooses 8. The cake is in 13, 14, 24, 29, and 47. After 5 minutes and 25 seconds, subject reports hearing a voice in his head telling him that I chose a box of expletive, but denies having heard any recommendation as to which box he should have chosen. Test 8, disposable 7. They're presented with a list of professional runners and ask which one she thinks will win the Redacted Marathon, taking place later that day. They choose Redacted. After 5 minutes 25 seconds, reports hearing a voice in her head telling her, no, Redacted is not going to win, Redacted is going to win. This was sequentially proof incorrect. Test 9, subject 8. Same marathon. Chooses blank. Reports here, Redacted can't win the race because the race was last week. Dr. Velasco. Recursive Ouija test. Attempt to use 698 to identify letters and words in a paragraph explaining how it works and where it gets its information. See document T26 for details of experimental protocol. Result. Produces the following message. It is approximate, forbidden to, approximate, disassemble, approximate, decompile, or approximate, reverse engineer judgmental turtle. Judgmental turtle is for approximate entertainment purposes only. Some approximate jurisdictions impose untranslatable on the use of judgmental turtle and approximate gambling. The approximate manufacturers of judgmental turtle are not responsible for any damages, injury, loss of life, or is untranslatable, which may result from the approximate misuse of judgmental turtle. Judgmental turtle is for approximate entertainment purposes only. Do not use judgmental turtle for mission-critical applications, major life choices, or untranslatable. Enjoy judgmental turtle. Dr. Blank and Dr. Blank have repeated this test without knowledge of the content of the message and obtained identical results. Test 11. Dr. Velasco, Dr. Blank, and Dr. Blank. Action. Dr. Velasco, Dr. Blank, and Dr. Blank discussed the results of the previous test and concluded that it is a safe class artifact. Note, this test was not performed intentionally. Result. 698 produces the following message. No, SCP-698 is Euclid class because 698 is Judgmental Turtle. At any time, Judgmental Turtle may transmit data to approximate makers of Judgmental Turtle for commercial, industrial, or untranslatable purposes. By using Judgmental Turtle, you agree to hold the approximate makers of Judgmental Turtle blameless for any damage, loss of life, or untranslatable resulting from these approximate transmissions. That's pretty great. Next up is the mystery box. What's in the mystery box? Is it a boat? It's Euclid, whatever it is. 699 is to be kept in a standard 8x8x5 meter research bay, which was built around the object in the sub-basement of Site 83. The object shall be guarded at all times by 2 level 1 personnel who have had a negative reaction to the object seen below, and have shown no interest in opening it. Do not open the box! In addition, the artifact is to be kept under video surveillance at all times. Unauthorized attempts to open it will be met with severe disciplinary procedures up to and including termination. Any signs of an escape attempt by the contents of 699 must immediately be reported to a level 4 staff member so that further containment procedures can be initiated. Any containment breach is to be met with full force. SCP-699 is a clear rectangular case 2.5 by 1.5 by 1 meter in size. Engraved on the one side is the SCP Foundation Keter symbol and SCP-17591. The artifact appears to be plexiglass, but it is in fact super dense polymer much stronger and heavier than any material currently manufactured. The weight of the object is estimated at 24,000 kilograms. It shows no seams in its construction and no obvious means of opening it. It has resisted all attempts to open, damage, or acquire a sample of the material it's composed of. Attempts to acquire a small sample of the material so that it can be reproduced are ongoing. The contents of it are under investigation and currently in dispute among researchers. The contents are apparently telepathic and appear differently to most observers depending on their desires and psychological state. 90% of observers see the contents in a positive way, as something they want to possess or to release. These viewers have reported seeing precious metals, artwork, family members, pets, religious figures, and apparently useful technology contained in 699, and experience a strong desire to open the box. Approximately 9% of observers have a negative reaction to its contents and view something frightening or dangerous. Reported contents have included spiders, snakes, demonic humanoids, and other dangerous SCP artifacts including SCP Blank. These observers do not exhibit any desire to release the contents. Two observers, Dr. Blank and Dr. Blank, have observed the same thing when viewing it. They claim it is entirely empty. It's obviously just a prank, Dr. Blank. The contents of 699 are capable of appearing in different forms simultaneously to multiple observers. Other than the form masking telepathy and the transmission of a desire to be released, it has not attempted to communicate with anyone. Addendum. It was first discovered when it appeared in the third floor break room of Site 83 at 3:14 AM on blank 2000 something. Due to its weight, it immediately crashed through several floors of the site, landing undamaged in the sub-basement. Unfortunately, it caused blank $1 million in damage to the building, released SCP Blank and SCP Blank, and SCP Blank was crushed beneath it upon landing. It is too heavy to move without causing major structural damage to Site 83, so containment was built around it. A partial report on 699 was found attached to the artifact. The support is for level 4 and above eyes only. Unfortunately, most of the report was damaged when it arrived and is unreadable. Okay. Item, SCP-17591. Object Class Keter. Date of capture, July 6, 2455. Researcher in charge, Dr. Somebody B. Notes. SCP-17591, who calls report damage self-report damage unreadable, desires to implement something referred to as Protocol Z within this document. As it is obviously undesirable and given subject's ability to place in a standard Keter class containment vessel. Report damage. Added data expunged to containment protocol to prevent report damage after escape/recapture and extensive damage to Site Blank. Ability to inflict report damage. Protocol Z at a distance of 5 report damage for concern. Escape attempts continue. Subversion of Site Blank personnel require termination of Dr. Blank and Researcher Blank. Oh. Report damaged. Escape imminent. Game Day Part 1 Index. Experimental containment procedures T to be implemented immediately. We believe the inhabitants of the receiving timeline lack the report damage and will for many years. Note from the records clerk, I'm not about to mess up our database and call this thing SCP-17591. It is 699 until further notice. Note from 05. Do not start tossing recalcitrant dangerous artifacts into the nearest dimensional portal. It is clearly not safe for many of the items under our control, and there's a significant debate among senior staff over whether it should ever be done. SCP-52. Although it is not possible to remove it from the New York subway system. Okay, so it sounds like they just somehow tossed the box onto the subway system and sent it to the past. And escape imminent. Game Day Phase 1. This is very long. Analysis. Related Foundation Tales. Game Day, Lombardi. What is this? What is this? What is this? Well, I see Dr. Wondertainment, and I see Dr. Clef, and I see Dr. Gears, and I see Creepypasta? 3,000, 4,000, acoustic, adaptive, K-class scenario, Keter, sapient, sentient, wooden? What the hell is going on in here? Joke. Kane Pathos Crow, Indestructible, Info Hazard, Prometheus, Doomsday 2018? Is this new? List of pages tagged with Doomsday 2018. Dr. DJ Cactus's Proposal 2. Isn't this something from SCP-1 or is this... Yeah. Okay, this is a different thing. This is absolutely a different thing. What is happening here? I'm gonna bookmark this. And we're gonna continue the episode. Because the episode's almost over. Something's up with that stuff. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. But now it's time to check out the graffiti factory. And it better not be Keter. It was Euclid, but now it's not. So, as SCP-700 is immobile, one security team is to be permanently placed at the site to prevent the entrance of civilians and unauthorized personnel. Used to say, they're to be equipped with breath masks at all times while inside of SCP-700. One is to remain closed all the time. Its hatch may only be opened if all personnel present inside are wearing full-body, non-organic biohazard suits and breath masks, and only for the purpose of running necessary tests. Now it says, following Incident 1, as part of the containment procedures no longer necessary. See the Incident Log 1 for details. Is that in here? Okay. SCP-700 is a large abandoned building, similar to a factory in design, located in a rural area of blank USA. It contains blank floors, one being underground, each containing blank rooms. Many of these rooms are built in a way that does not appear to serve any specific purpose, containing, for example, redundant machinery, sewage pipes that are not connected to any kind of disposal unit, and numerous power cords extended Did this just move? Did this picture just move? Graffiti pictures. Okay, it did. Okay, where was I? Sewage pipes in a sash. Graffiti pictures designated 2 can be observed inside of the rooms. They usually depict humanoid creatures, although animal figures were also observed. All instances of 2 have shown the capacity to move around the walls of the rooms. The frequency of movement varies depending on what room 2 is located. For example, don't you fucking do it again so that I feel safe. Do it again. I don't like you. Do it again. Hey. Thank you. Okay. It's currently unknown if the graffiti is sentient, but as their movement patterns are erratic, and considering that all attempts at communicating with them have failed, it is assumed that they are not. Don't you fucking look at me. Inside the central room of the underground floor is a circular hole designated 1. It's going to do it again soon, I know it. Are you going to do it? And Alright, an iron hatch is connected to... I know I've missed a lot of the words, but this is freaking me out. An iron hatch is connected to the hole. There are blank 3 milliliter plastic syringes attached to the walls, all positioned 1 meter above the bottom of 1. Oh, Jesus, another one. At the center of the hole's floor is a 1 by 1 meter grate that leads into a unlit chamber. Removing the syringes from the wall is possible. However, new syringes will grow to replace the lost ones at a few moments after their removal. No. The syringes at the bottom of 1 are constantly producing a yellow liquid composed primarily of human blank, including menses. This mixture produces a fragrance deemed to be very attractive to all humans that come into contact with it. If 1 is left open, the smell will spread through all the rooms of the building. Upon smelling this fragrance for a small period of time, usually blank minutes, subjects will begin to unconsciously move towards 701. If not stopped, they will throw themselves down 1. The fall will usually result in fractured bones, but all observed subjects seem to be unaware of the fact, concentrating solely on consuming the liquid dropped by the syringes. After a human falls inside 1, the hatch will automatically close, and loud mechanical sounds will be heard coming from an undetermined place within 700. At this point, opening 1's hatch will reveal a solid concrete floor instead of the hole, and it will also bring the sounds to a halt. Approximately blank minutes after closing, it will reopen by itself, revealing the hole again, but the human inside will have disappeared. During the test, all recording devices like cameras placed inside were destroyed by an unknown means as soon as the hatch closed. Blank hours after the disappearance of the subject, a new instance of 2 will be found in one of the rooms. 700 came to the attention of the Foundation after various reports of a man called Mr. Blank selling living art painted on concrete blocks. When confronted by Foundation personnel, Mr. Blank attempted to flee and injured one agent before killing himself when it became clear that he could not escape. The coordinates for the location of the building were found at his house on Blank. The Foundation was able to find and destroy blank of the blocks that Mr. Blank had sold. The owner of the blocks were given Class B amnestics. Addendum 1. Staff working inside 700 have reported sightings of a featureless humanoid figure silently walking inside 700's rooms immediately after a human vanishes inside 1. This entity, designated 3, disappears when researchers try to make physical contact with it, and it does not respond when communication is attempted. Thus far, 3 has proved to be harmless. Any changes in 3's behavior are to be reported immediately. Addendum 2. Recently, blank researchers and blank disposable dudes have observed pictures of 2 claimed to have momentarily seen their graffiti and some of them moving. Further tests have confirmed that 2 depicted in photographs will appear to move only to subjects with a previous history of data expunged. What causes this phenomenon is currently unknown. Incident 1. On blank blank blank, Dr. Blank brought 4 disposable dudes to 700 with the intention of discovering the nature of the chamber below 1. To achieve this, D-9462 was provided with a crowbar and was instructed to use it to remove the grate located at the bottom of 1. When they struck 1's grate with the crowbar, a loud shriek could be heard coming from all rooms of the building. 1's hatch closed immediately after the shriek ceased. Since the incident, opening the hatch will only reveal a solid concrete floor. As a blank blank blank, 1 did not reappear. Manifestations of 3 have also stopped occurring. As a result, 700 was reclassified as safe. So again, I want to apologize for how many of the things in that entry that I missed from being freaked out by the graffiti picture moving, because I forgot that sometimes the pictures on this website are GIFs instead of JPEGs or PNGs or whatever the hell. So this has been Anashi Sasuke. This has been episode 149 of Let's Read the SCP Foundation Wiki. In the next episode, we're going to start with the Hanged King's tragedy, and we're going to go up through disappearance. So, if you liked it, a like and a subscribe will be groovy. If you didn't, you need to do either one of those things, and I will see y'all in the next one, provided I don't have a heart attack in my sleep. Later!